What is up, guys, and welcome back. So I'm going to do a quick video here to explain why I need to restart. Now there's a lot of reasons why I need to restart, and I'm going to go through them right now. For starters, this is nothing like the mechanics of the previous game. I never used to pay very close attention at all to power supply and wastage, but looking at this, I realized I was wasting something like 24 up to 38 sometime thousand on wastage over there, which is now 2,000. And I could have done that ages ago, so many stars ago. And also, I'm going to go through these buildings and explain all of them. So when I get to the point at the end of it, when I had all the research done, all the dig sites done, you can come here and, well, that was still going. But the other ones, you can most definitely take these out because they cost power. They cost money to put them in, but they cost power, and if they're not being used, it's just a complete waste. And the reason why I'm saying this, actually, sorry, is because I got to an impasse where I was getting like 65 to 70,000 profit. That'll go up in a second. And it was just taking too long to get my strategy with the Dilophosaurus and the Apatosaurus or Brachiosaurus. And it could be done, it would just take so much longer. Okay, moving on. Now, this cage, the aviary, when it's full, it'll do 150 on the ratings, which is only 10 more than one brachie right there. So that means doing all of this and putting all those oh damn, I've forgotten what they're called, pterodons in there is the same as building almost one brachiosaur. So that is probably not something I'm going to get into at all on my next playthrough. Next up, the hotels. So I've got 4 hotels here, and the overcrowding is 3%. If I go to my rating, yeah, that was up. The visibility's got to go because this is broken. But it was 5-star. My point being, I deleted this and it changed nothing. Everything was the same. The rating was the same. So again, there was another building I didn't need to do, and it was consuming power as well. Moving on to the shops. Now, these ones are standard. These are going to be treated the same. Get as much as you can, whenever you can. Now, there is so much to do with these park tours. Firstly, I've only got 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, your park relies heavily on these attraction incomes, as you can see over here. The sales attraction revenue is 29,000. My profit is 60. So half of my profit is 3 of those tours. What does this mean? This means that I'm not going to build my webfoot strategy anymore. I'll do 1 park tour, maybe 2 paddocks max on their own. And then over here, park tour, 2 paddocks max. So the more park tours you have, you see what I'm getting at, the more revenue you're going to get at this stage of the game and not get to this impasse. Now, next up is I couldn't remember, I didn't know why these guys were hungry all the time. I had way too much food in there and nothing was happening. It was because on my other games, I used to do the flooring, the grass and the reeds over here every time, all 3 of them on every single paddock, and they graze. They eat these as well as the food. That's why, as you can see here, that's why they were always hungry. So it was something I did all the time that I decided not to do this time, and that screwed me a bit. Next up, these guys are actually afraid of the cars, of the tour rides. So, to remedy this, when I do it again, these tours are going to be outside the paddock, and then I'm just going to weave a slight little corner on maybe 2 of the paddocks, and then back inside, done. The more time they spend out here, the more chance I actually built a Spinosaurus here. Every single time they rode past, he attacked it. So the idea is, the strategy is to get the track in as small a section as possible while still being in here, and not do this silly thing I've done here. Well, I don't know it was going to be like this. Encircling them, and these guys just go in circles because they're encircled all the time and they never eat and they lose health and they will die. So that is absolutely awesome to know as well. And yeah, this is just a couple of the reasons why I'm going to restart. Let me just make sure there's nothing else. Aviary house. The ranger outpost. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have more space between him and the paddock, because if you ask this dude to go fill up a feeder over here, he takes such a long time to turn around, being the gate being there. So now I know that the front of this thing, looking at it like that, this thing pointing towards me, the thin side, is where they are facing, And if the gate was over here, then he would just ride straight off into it. And timing is crucial, especially with disease. You want to get there as soon as possible. You don't want to, get that disease done, and then you go off and do something, and you come back and he's still trying to get past his buddy. But this was a learning curve for me massively. I've got notes on what to do and what not to do. And yeah, with the increased size over here, it works well. I just went a bit overboard with the Stegosaurus keep because they filled up population, and it's a bit of a waste of space. And I should have done these guys in there. So that is just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the reasons why I'm going to restart. And what I might do is just do maybe 1 a day and do them much longer. And instead of doing half an hour once, so I can actually get into it and remember what I was doing on my previous play and stuff like that pretty much. So guys, I'm really sorry to say that I'm going to be restarting this, and I'm going to start again right now. So by tomorrow afternoon, there should be another one up of the next play, and I'm going to be way more intricate, as well as, oh yes, from the start, which is something I've never done, I'm going to use genetics. I'm going to increase their age. I was having a look at like the Anki over here. Let's have a look here, for example. So he starts off with a rating of 60. So we're going to go 70 right there. And then I'm looking at lifespan. Well, now there's only 1. I might do some research for longer lifespan, and the rating will go up. So 72 right there. And that goes up to 75 rating. And then the lifespan goes up to 70. And then in the end, you're looking at 77 rating and a 70 lifespan, as opposed to a 64 lifespan and a 60 rating. So if I do this on each, and that was only maybe 1 success rate I need to add to the hatchery. So if I did that with all these dinosaurs here, there's going to be a shitload more than the dino amount I've got over here, which is just nowhere near enough at this stage of the game. So I'm very amped to do that because it's not something I've ever done before, but I'm glad that they're doing it because it's not something I paid attention to. I mean, that branch of the research tree, I'd never clicked. I never went in there to do any of this crap. Well, that's just cosmetic. But I never did any of this stuff. And I'm glad that they're making you do it now, because I can tell that you're going to need the rating, because you're going to get to this point where your dig sites are done. Well, this one I've reloaded an earlier game. The dig sites are going to be completely finished, and you're like, okay, well, the only income I have are the contracts and whatever I've managed to get, which is 77,000. Now, I feel I can increase that loads. And one last thing with the contracts, Malcolm, he'll always give you a timed contract. So 10 minutes and guest fatalities. And this is just waiting. You're just waiting for these contracts to finish, which is not very entertaining. And Mr. Attenborough, he always gives you goals for population, and this can be 100 ahead, and that'll take you a long time to get to as well. So at the end game, you want to choose these 2 mainly. Dr. Sattler, she'll do genetics as well, so that might come in handy. But there's just a wealth of knowledge I've learned from playing this game. Like looking at this now, Malcolm, straight away, because it's just going to be a time to illustrate my point. So yes, I'm going to restart, but I'm going to be way more meticulous and way more taking notice of power and wastage and every dinosaur. At least I want to make sure it's the highest rating possible, and I think it's going to be an amazingly interesting playthrough. So guys, I want to say sorry for this, but I'm very excited for the next one. If you're enjoying the content, smash the like button and subscribe if you are really enjoying it. So I want to say thanks for watching, and I'm most definitely going to catch you on the next episode. Cheers for now.
Change things for the better.